Rachael might appear to be the happy-go-lucky chef with a host of cookbooks in her name, a hit cooking show, and an abundance of cooking skills, along with numerous awards under her belt. However, she isn't particularly happy or lucky, so to say. Ever since she was a young girl with dreams of making it big in the cooking scene, she has faced countless health, family, friendship, and money issues. You can imagine her despair when even people who claim to be fans of her show dislike her methods and her personality. Grab a seat because we're about to reveal all the widely known sad tragedies of Rachael Ray, a long-standing case of croup and needing surgery. Even if you're not a big fan of Food Network shows, you probably actually know Rachael Ray. She's that cheerful, relatable cook who seems just like one of us. Her journey with Food Network began in 2001 when she launched her first show, 30-Minute Meals. Since then, she's built a huge food empire. She's not just on Food Network. She also had her daytime talk show called Rachael Ray, which started in 2007 but ended in 2023. Rachael has written tons of cookbooks too, and in 2005, she even started her own magazine called Every Day with Rachael Ray. If you walk into a big store, you'll most likely see lots of posters, kitchenware, and items with her face on them, like pots and pans and even dog food. Basically, everyone agrees she's incredibly successful. Her story is a perfect example of how hard work can lead to so many opportunities. What makes her story even more beautiful is that Rachael didn't attend cooking school. She worked in grocery stores and managed restaurants until a local TV station noticed her, so her cooking skills are more of a natural gift. Although Rachael has a picture-perfect image on magazine covers and television commercials, her life has been far from perfect. Along her journey to becoming a top food celebrity, she has faced many tragedies and challenges. Many people across America instantly recognize Rachael, not only by her face, but also by her distinctive voice. As she shares her tips for quick meals on television, listeners notice a certain seriousness in her voice that sets her apart from other TV personalities. But this unique quality in her voice can be traced back to her childhood struggles with illness. In interviews, Rachael has revealed that she has had voice issues since childhood. She explains that her vocal cords were never strong, often affected by illnesses such as croup, a common childhood infection that causes breathing difficulties and coughing. She also frequently experienced episodes where she lost her voice entirely. After visiting doctors for these issues, she was advised to perform throat exercises and avoid irritants like caffeine. These challenges have undoubtedly influenced her voice and contributed to the distinctiveness that audiences recognize today. Before we get more into her sad tragedies, which will not only shock you but will break your heart, how about we go back in time to how she grew to experience several unfortunate events eventually. Rachael Ray grew up in Glen Falls, New York, where she was born on August 25, 1968. She had a modest upbringing, and from a young age, she developed a passion for cooking. Throughout her childhood, Rachael faced various health challenges, including issues with her voice, which she still heavily battled later in life as an adult. After graduating from high school in 1986, Rachael enrolled at Pace University, where she pursued a degree in communication, but she left college before completing her degree to focus on her career. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Rachael held various jobs, including working at Macy's and managing a pub in New York City. In 1995, Rachael married John Cusimano, a lawyer and musician, after dating for several years. The couple has remained together since then, and their marriage has been a significant aspect of Rachael's life. Ray's big break in the food industry came in 2001 when she debuted as a guest on The Today Show. Her engaging personality and simple cooking style caught viewers' attention, leading to her own cooking segment, 30-Minute Meals. The segment quickly became popular, showing Ray's impressive talent for whipping up delicious meals in under 30 minutes. After the success of her segment on The Today Show, Ray published her first cookbook, 30-Minute Meals, in 2001. The cookbook was a hit, further solidifying her reputation as a cooking expert. In the years that followed, Ray continued to expand her brand, hosting her own cooking shows and appearing on various television programs as a guest. In 2006, Ray launched her daytime talk show, The Rachael Ray Show, which quickly became a staple of daytime television. The show's success cemented Ray's status as a household name. It allowed her to showcase her cooking skills, as well as her engaging personality and ability to connect with her audience. Throughout her career, Ray has remained committed to making cooking accessible and enjoyable for people of all skill levels. She has even launched her line of cookware and kitchen products. It was at this point things started to go downhill progressively. In 2008, rumors were spreading about Rachael having throat cancer. The National Enquirer published an article claiming that Rachael would undergo surgery to remove the tumor, which would keep her away from the public eye for a few months. Another article followed mentioning a source that told the National Enquirer about Rachael having a growth on her vocal cords, possibly needing radiation treatment, and even saying the presence of cancer cells. Fortunately, the cancer rumors turned out to be untrue, but Rachael's health issues did not let her be. A spokesperson for Rachael spoke to People magazine after the National Enquirer's story, confirming that Rachael did require surgery on her vocal cords. But the surgery was not to treat cancer. Instead, it was to remove a benign cyst. The spokesperson reassured that Rachael was otherwise healthy, not feeling unwell at all. The surgery, which took place in December 2008, was described as an outpatient procedure and would only briefly interrupt her work schedule, requiring just a short, week-long break. Even with the surgery, Rachael continued her tapings for Food Network and her show, Rachael Ray, as planned. Mugged multiple times, Family Feud, and severe backlash. Mugged in New York City. Mugging happens quite often. In fact, more often than you can even imagine. I mean, according to the New York City Police Department, there were 1,417 cases of robbery in January 2024 alone, and those are only the cases that were reported and confirmed. You should know that theft is usually classified as mugging because it involves taking someone's belongings by threatening them. This is different from burglary, though, which involves breaking into someone else's building. With over 8 million people living in New York City, the chance of getting mugged is very low, about 0.01%. This might make it seem less common than you'd think. But it's still sad that Rachael got mugged in New York City. Not just once, but twice. Rachael shared with People magazine that back in the late 1990s, when she was working in Manhattan and living in Queens, she got mugged by the same person 2 times in 1 week. The first time, it happened in the lobby of her apartment building. Rachael had to use her mace to defend herself. The second time, the mugger was even more aggressive. Rachael said he dragged her down the alley and beat her severely with his gun, almost like he wanted to take her life. After these scary incidents, Rachael moved back to the Adirondacks region of New York. There, she started managing restaurants at the Sagamore Resort on Lake George. Now, to her family. Rachael is a big family person. In fact, if you read more about Rachael Ray's life, you'll see how much her family means to her, especially her mom. She talks about her mom a lot, saying she's her favorite cook and person. Her mom even went with her when she first appeared on the Today Show, which helped Rachael get noticed by the Food Network. But Rachael's family isn't without its troubles. In 2013, something unfortunate happened. Rachael's aunt, Geraldine Domenica Scuderi, passed away outside Rachael's house, and it caused a big problem in the family. Geraldine, who was 77 years old, was watching over Rachael's home in late November. One day, she went outside to feed the birds but accidentally locked herself out of the house. It was freezing cold, and she tried to break a window to get back inside. Sadly, she collapsed and wasn't found until the next day. After this happened, Rachael's cousin blamed her for Geraldine's death. They said Rachael was negligent because Geraldine didn't have her key to the house. They also mentioned that Geraldine had lung problems, which might have contributed to her collapse. The situation worsened when Rachael didn't attend the funeral because she was filming a TV show. Some family members were upset about this, but Rachael's brother defended her, saying nobody else was mad at her for missing the funeral. That's not all regarding the poor woman's family. Rachael and her husband seem like the perfect couple. Her husband, John Cusimano, often shares the spotlight with her, appearing alongside her in media appearances, on her shows, and across her social media accounts. Their wedding took place in 2005 at a beautiful Tuscan castle, where they also renewed their vows in 2015. Each year, they return to this castle with family and friends, including many famous faces, to celebrate their anniversary. But all that glitters gold. There have been rumors of infidelity surrounding John, although there is no solid evidence to support these claims. One rumor suggests that John had an affair with a woman from Florida, whom he met in New York in 2000. It's said that this affair lasted for years, with John allegedly paying the woman for her services and taking drugs with her. Other sources have suggested that John may have cheated multiple times, with some estimates putting the number as high as 6 affairs. Despite these heartbreaking rumors, Rachael has stood by her husband, claiming that she has known his whereabouts every night since they got married, dismissing the accusations as baseless. We do hope she's right. Rachael Ray is known for her love of dogs, often talking about her dog Isabu on her TV shows and in her magazine. She had even expressed pain for her dog's death. So it's no surprise that she started a dog food brand called Rachael Ray Nutrish. The brand is all about giving your furry friend good, healthy food while also helping other animals. When you buy Nutrish, part of the money goes to the Rachael Ray Foundation, which supports animals in need. But there's been some trouble with Nutrish. In 2018, someone claimed the dog food contained weed killer and shouldn't be called natural. At first, the complaint didn't specify the problem, so it got thrown out. But then, they fixed it and tried again. Still, the case got tossed out once more. Then, in 2020, another lawsuit came up. This time, it said that tests showed dog DNA in the food. Plus, even though the food was supposed to have only 6 ingredients, there were actually a lot more. Another lawsuit claimed that the food wasn't as healthy for dogs as it said, but that one got thrown out too. Rachael's tragedies also include her friendships. Mario Batali, a famous chef, received severe accusations of sexual misconduct in 2017. Many women said he harassed them. By 2022, he had settled 2 cases and was not found guilty in one. But a documentary called Batali, The Fall of a Superstar Chef still discussed the accusations. Mario didn't really recover from this. Empathetically, Rachael Ray stood up for Mario, her friend. This caused some people to be upset. In an interview in 2019, Rachael said she still talked to Mario but hadn't asked him about the accusations. She thought the attention on him was unfair. She also noted that both men and women sometimes talk in the wrong way in kitchens. She felt she was always treated fairly in the food industry, while Mario was treated unjustly. Rachael Ray's hard work and success have also been criticized by detractors who strongly dislike her. She is aware of the existence of websites like I Hate Rachael Ray, which have since changed their name to Rachael Ray Sucks. You bet she also knows that many of her colleagues in the industry have publicly made negative comments about her. One particular person who has openly criticized Rachael Ray is Martha Stewart. In a 2009 interview with ABC, Stewart claimed that Rachael once told her she couldn't bake, and she also expressed disdain for Rachael's most recent cookbook at the time. Much of the criticism directed towards Rachael is because of her approach to cooking, which prioritizes speed and simplicity. Ironically, this approach is what actually initially propelled her to fame. Other industry figures who have voiced similar complaints include Giada de Laurentiis, Emeril Lagasse, and Anthony Bourdain. But you should know that some of the hatred seems to have reduced over time. Ignoring past disagreements, Emeril Lagasse and Rachael Ray have developed a friendly relationship. Emeril now frequently appears on Rachael's show, proving that any previous tensions between them have been resolved. Accusation of unoriginality and tragic fire. In Rachael Ray's more than 20 cookbooks, she filled them with hundreds of recipes for people to try out. You can even find many recipes online and in her magazines, making it likely that thousands of recipes are linked to her name. While some might assume that she creates all the recipes on Rachael's TV shows or in her magazines, many were surprised when some people in the food industry claimed otherwise. In 2012, the New York Times printed a story titled, "I Was a Cookbook Ghostwriter," revealing that some famous chefs, including Rachael, might not actually write their own recipes or cookbooks. This raised eyebrows and questions among fans. Rachael responded to this on an episode of her show, explaining that she writes her cookbooks during her rare moments at home with her family, but she did admit that she gets help organizing the book and adding final touches like the glossary. Some people, like celebrity chef Bobby Flay, came to Rachael's defense. Bobby mentioned on Today that he fully believes Rachael writes her cookbooks. He even mentioned seeing her work on them between filming her TV shows, testifying that she's indeed involved in the process. Not many cooking shows have a live audience, But when Rachel started her show, Rachael Ray, having people there was very important. But some people say even though Rachel works hard and puts in lots of hours, she's not the best host once the cameras are off. People who went to watch the show live had different things to say. Some had a blast and loved being there, but others weren't so thrilled. They left reviews on TripAdvisor, and they were all a mixed bag. Some said it was awesome, while others warned not to expect too much. One person in 2019 even felt terrible for Rachel's co-workers, saying she seemed grumpy and didn't even want to be there. They wondered why she kept doing the show if she didn't like it. But now, Rachel doesn't have to stress about those reviews anymore. Her show, Rachael Ray, finished its last season. She's moved on to new TV engagements, like her latest show on Hulu called Rachael Ray's Rebuild. Now let's talk about Rachael Ray's new show, Rachael Ray's Rebuild. It's all about people who've gone through tough times, just like Rachel has. One of the biggest tragedies in Rachel's life was when her home in the Adirondacks burned down in 2020 because of a chimney fire. She and her husband had built that home more than 10 years ago. It was a special place for them, but one night, they had to leave quickly because the fire was spreading fast. By the time it was over, their home was gone, burned to the ground. Rachel lost a lot of things that meant a lot to her in that fire, so when she decided to rebuild, she wanted the new home to feel just like the old one. She tried to recreate everything, from the layout of the rooms to the furniture, but she also made some changes to ensure it was safer, like putting a tin roof on the new house. She needed to learn from what happened and try to prevent it from happening again. Rebuilding her Adirondack home wasn't the only big move Rachel made. In 2021, she also bought a house in Tuscany, Italy. She's been working on fixing up the place, and it's been documented in a series called Rachael Ray's Italian Dream Home, which you can watch on Hulu. It's been a busy time for Rachel with all these big changes happening in her life. Hurricane Ida. In September 2021, Rachael Ray was met with yet another tragedy in her life. Just when she thought things couldn't get worse, Hurricane Ida struck New York City. Even amid a global pandemic, the devastation of the hurricane added to the challenges she was already facing. While Hurricane Ida wasn't technically classified as a hurricane when it hit the city, it still caused significant damage, breaking rainfall records and leading to millions of dollars in damages and multiple fatalities. Rachel's apartment was not spared from the destruction. According to the New York City CDBG Disaster Recovery, Hurricane Ida damaged over 3% of the city's buildings, including Rachel's recently renovated apartment. In an interview with People magazine, Rachel described the extent of the damage, explaining how the hurricane had destroyed everything from the speakers in the ceiling to the fireplace, leaving the apartment looking as if it had melted. As if that wasn't enough, when a remediation team attempted to assess the damage, they accidentally broke a water pipe, causing the apartment to flood again, along with the entire building down to the ground level. By the holiday season of 2021, she had managed to return to her apartment just in time for Christmas. She even showed viewers her festive decorations on an episode of her show. It was a happy moment, an end to the series of sad tragedies she had to face. Rachel's ability to overcome adversity and her unwavering positivity to life, regardless of the many tragedies the universe threw her way, are an inspiration to us, that even in the darkest of times, there is hope and the possibility of a brighter future, or at least, better stability and fewer issues to worry about. Thank you for watching this video until the end. We hope you enjoyed every bit of it, and hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you very much.